Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel or welcome to my channel. Either way, thanks so much for tuning in today. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic, a medium, a spiritual teacher, and really and honestly, just a regular old chick trying to get through this thing called life, right? But I can channel. I'm a regular old chick who can channel spirit guides. I don't know. You figure it out. I don't know what I am. I'm having an identity crisis in 2024. It's already here, right? So listen, thanks so much for tuning in today. Today we're going to be talking to you, and I say we because my spirit guides are here with me, channeling through me as I do this video. We want to talk about heaven, and we want to talk about heaven on earth. Now, listen, you can call it whatever you want. If you don't want to call it heaven, if whatever, you could go to the big shopping mall in the sky. I don't care. You can go to the big casino, the big workout gym, the big national park, the beautiful barrier reef. And that's what this video is about. We create our own heaven. I'm just going to use heaven for a kind of a name to call this, okay? We create our own heaven. I'm a medium. I talk to dead people on the regular, and I often ask them, hey, what are you doing up there? Like, share your life with us. Share your afterlife with us, with this loved one that wants to know how you're doing, right? So many times as a medium, we want to give the message, right? We want to also be evidentiary, meaning I want to say something to my client that makes my client understand and know without a shadow of a doubt, I am really talking to a person on the other side in spirit that she wants to talk to. So evidentiary could be a birthday, a name, but it could also be the fact that you both loved ketchup on eggs, or you both loved caramel popcorn, but you don't eat it anymore. You had to give it up. You know what I mean? Something that would be specific between you and that person. It could be any number of things. It could be a story. It could be a personality trait. It can be anything. Evidential means that they share with me something that I tell you they told me, and wow, there's no way you would know my nickname is XYZ, right? So now let's talk about the other side of this, which is, what are they doing? Right? It's not evidential. I can't prove to you that they're up there at the bowling alley, or can I? Because if your loved one loved to bowl and is telling me that they just got a strike, or that, they make a reference to the gutter ball, they make some kind of reference and they say, I'm up here on lane 7, right? And then they even use that lane 7 to say something about you, because maybe you bowled with them and it was always on lane 7. So there it is. It's evidential, but it's also what they're doing. So in my experience, people create their own heaven. They literally make their own heaven the way they want to make it. So if the person is a person who's pretty gregarious and loves a party and loves to be around people, then that's what they're going to be doing. And some of the things that these people have told me is, one guy said he loved going to concerts. He particularly loved a different kind of music, and he had some bands that he liked to follow. And, whenever they were in town, he would go see them. And this is something that started when he was younger, and he continued all the way through his life, right? So this guy, his thing is he goes on stage with his favorite band. He literally gets to rock out right next to that guitarist or that lead singer or that drummer. He's on the stage. I've had other, and this is a guy thing. I think because for some reason guys have a lot of hobbies and maybe women don't have as many, or I don't know. But another guy loved to golf, and he would seek out professional golfers that he only maybe got to see on TV, and he would go and stand as close to them as he dared to not, mess up their energy, but he would stand next to them. And on occasion, he would literally stand, if he thought that he could get away with it, like it wasn't like a big tournament or something, he would blend his energy and feel the swoosh of the club, and feel the athleticism, and feel the perfection of the swing. And not only that, but feel the trajectory of the ball, but feel the person, the golfer, looking, and feel the pride or the dejection, depending on the hit, I guess, right? That person was actually in the energy. So another woman that I read for, so she told us, she told me, and then told her daughter, I'm at church. Okay, well, you might think, well, that makes sense, right? You're in heaven, you're at church, but I'm telling you, heaven is whatever you make it. In her heaven, she was at, and I described the actual church, and she was at in the hall, like the rec room or whatever you want to call it. It was a room where they had set up all these folding tables, and there was a group of women that got together at the church, and they knitted, crocheted, or did the blankets. They just did those kinds of things, and they had groups of them that would be, this is the knitters, these are the crocheters, these are the quilters. They would have their own little group, but they would all get together on the same day, and they would all bring in food, and they would chat and visit. It was a real social thing, and it was something that this woman truly enjoyed. This is something that was so important to her. It was her community, it was her service, but it was also her social life, because a lot of the things they knitted, crocheted, and quilted, they would either sell to make money for charity, or they would donate to charity. So it was all those things for her. So, but it gets better, because of course, as you age, some of your friends cross over before you do. So I saw her friends and described her friends that were there with her, crocheting and knitting with her. So she was basically doing exactly what she did on earth, but doing it in heaven with the people that she missed. So she left behind people here that are probably still knitting and crocheting and quilting, but she found the people together that were on the other side doing it, which I think is really special. I think that is so amazing. Now, also, let's say you're not a people person. I've seen many people create a little cabin on the water. They live by themselves in a cabin on the water. They spend a lot of time by themselves. They're not traipsing around the world visiting things. That's what they're doing. They've got their cabin, they've got their view, they've got it decorated just the way they want. Their view is exactly what they want. Sometimes they have crossed over pets with them that are there in their little space. Truly, it is exactly what you want. If you're a tinkerer, if you're an artist, whatever it is, there it is for you. If you can paint, you can tinker with that car, that motorcycle, or whatever. It's all there for you. Others have done a lot of traveling. If they really love traveling, they will be visiting the things they like to do. If they're into history, they're going to be visiting historic sites. If they're into, Egypt and the pyramids, they're going to be visiting that. If they're into professional sports, again, they'll be visiting those types of things. If they are into celebrities, they will often just kind of pop in on a celebrity and see what's up, and be able to have that look behind the curtain of a very private situation. Now, of course, I think most people are ethical, and I don't think people are, being peeping Toms here. I'm just saying, what is the day in the life of a celebrity? What do they eat for breakfast? Where do they go to the gym? Those types of things, right? Just fascinating. Same thing if you're really into business and you really look up to business people. You may be looking in on some very important business person to kind of see what that's like. So it's just, it's sort of like hobbies. It's things that you can do, and it's all available to you. Now, I've also had clients that came to me and, in the reading, and I present, because I just had the knowing, right? I presented with them the Barka Lounger, so they're sitting in the Barka Lounger while they're talking to their loved one. The guy gets bored, I give him a remote, and he's over there in my mind's eye in the little space that I've created for everybody. He's like watching TV while, the other one is chatting or whatever. It could also be the other way around, that the man is chatty and the mom is staying back or not saying much. It's really also how you are in life. Again, it's the same thing. If you're a chatty person in life, you're going to be a chatty person on the other side. If you're more shy, reserved, or private, you're going to come across as more shy, reserved, and private. So it's fascinating to me, though, that we get to create our own heaven just the way we want it. Now, what the spirit guides want, and the reason why they're having me do this video today, is because you can create heaven on earth. Okay, so their message to you today is that there's no reason to wait till you can snap a finger and be with a celebrity, right? What makes you happy now can really create a heaven on earth now. Now, of course, some of the things I mentioned are things that I think specifically are really only available to you on the other side, you in spirit. None of us are going to be able to stand next to a professional golfer or stand on the stage at a big, huge concert or pop into a celebrity's kitchen for breakfast. However, if those things make you happy, there are other things that can make you happy while you're living. Maybe it does make you happy to read gossip about celebrities. There's no harm in that, right? But do the things that make you happy. And if you're not sure what that is, this is what the guides would like to tell you is that if you, this is kind of rude how they're saying this, but sometimes I'm translating. They give me pictures, they give me thoughts, they give me ideas and feelings. And sometimes they just tell me words. And sometimes I translate all that and the translation, in my opinion, is a little bit rude. So what they said was, just for full disclosure, they said was if you lead an uninteresting life, you'll have an uninteresting heaven, which again is like kind of rude. But anyway, I think that's true, right? If you don't feel strongly about anything, if you don't have a hobby you're passionate about, whatever that is, even if it's putting together puzzles, it doesn't matter what it is, right? If you're not giving yourself a creative outlet or giving yourself an outlet for joy, whatever that is, on earth, when you cross over, it's kind of like, well, now what do I do, right? You don't know that you want that cabin. You don't know that you are super interested in sports or whatever it is. You just don't know it because you didn't give yourself the opportunity here in this lifetime so that then when you cross over, you can say, oh, I want to do this. So you end up on the Barka Lounger in heaven, just waiting for something important to happen or waiting for something interesting to happen. It's not going to happen. Heaven is a self-starter package, just like earth. You have to go there and say, gosh, I've never seen the pyramids. Can I go there? Boom. The minute you think something, you're there. But if you don't go there with this inquisitive and playful and spontaneous idea that what if? You don't know any better. You just ask the question, what if? But in heaven, what if is instantaneous. You get there. But this same energy can be applied on earth, asking the what if. I've always wanted to stand on a stage and jam with my favorite musician or sing or whatever. I've always wanted to be an artist. I've always wanted to be a writer. I've always wanted to be in better shape. I've always wanted to hike, swim. I've always wanted to skydive, snorkel, scuba dive. I've always wanted to travel. Now, obviously, some of us have barriers to doing that. But honestly, the majority of us don't. The majority of us, our barrier is here. So yeah, maybe you can't travel to see Stonehenge, but you can travel to see a very powerful energy spot in the United States. And there's more of them than just, say, Sedona. If you look up energy power centers in the United States, they're everywhere. Nobody really knows about them, but they're on the East Coast, they're on the West Coast, they're in the middle of the country. There are fascinating places that many of us could just drive to and experience for little money and maybe even not that much walking if you have mobile, if you don't really get around much, right? There's ways to live a bigger life regardless of how small your life has gotten. There are ways to push the walls out and live a bigger version of that just by asking the questions. Ask the question, gee, I sure would like to do XYZ, and allow your spirit guides to make that happen for you. All of a sudden, you might see that there's a community van that has never happened before. Maybe it'll never happen again, but they're offering free rides to XYZ. Ask the question, because then when it presents itself, you're ready. If you're not sure, you're not asking the questions, and you're not allowing yourself to be bigger, when the opportunity comes in, you're not going to be ready because you weren't prepared. Oh, I'd love to do that, but I'm not prepared to do it right now. So let's ask the question first. Let's be open. Let's be spontaneous. Let's create heaven on earth while we're living. We're going to live it. We're going to experience it. And then we get to experience it in a whole new way on the other side. A whole new magical way. Or you can sit on a Barka Lounger. And I'm not knocking that, because sometimes you just need to put your feet up and relax. If that's your speed, again, it's just like the people that I saw that lived in the cabin by the lake, right? That's my speed right there. I'd be very happy doing that. The point is that live your heaven now. Decide what your heaven is now. What is your heaven? This is going to grow your vibration. This is going to raise your vibration. Just dreaming about heaven, just thinking about it. Boy, I sure would like this. I sure would like that. And doing it in a sense of, I'll never have it. I'm never going to have it. Gosh, my life turned out terrible. I wasted my whole, okay, that's not going to help you. That's not going to help you. Do not do that. It's not helping you. Has it helped you yet? Probably not. It's not going to help you. Instead, what if? Wouldn't it be wild if this happened? Wouldn't it be amazing if this happened? You're not going to say, yeah, amazing, you're crazy, Susan, because it's never going to happen. You're not going to say that. You're just going to leave it open-ended. Let spirit decide if it's crazy. Stop making spirit's mind up for it. Stop taking control of the miracles from the people who provide the miracles. You're telling spirit you can't do this miracle. They can't, because you have it in your hands. Let go. Let spirit decide if it's possible. May it be so. I would like to experience this. And break it down. So if you're saying, well, Susan, come on, let's be honest. I want to be a concert pianist, and I'm not ever going to be a concert pianist because I'm 75 years old. Okay, great. I got it. Break it down to the emotion. What emotion would you get from being a concert pianist? What emotion would you get from being an artist? What emotion would you get from being in a relationship? What emotion would you get from having more money? Honey, emotions, that's what makes it all happen. That's the energy frequency of the green go button, right? So if we're thinking about the emotions being the car and the gas, you've got to have a car, you got to have a vehicle, and it's got to be gassed up before you can get anywhere. Whether that's a spaceship, a car, a bike, a kayak, you got to have a form of transportation. So the emotions are your forms of transportation. So think about, what if I could be more mobile? What if I worked less? What if I could retire right now? How would I feel? You guys, that is the solid gold information that you're looking for. That is the lottery you're looking to win. Because once you decide, I would feel peaceful, I would feel elated, I would feel safe, I would feel happy, I'd feel joyous. Okay, you write that down. Now, instead of looking to be the concert pianist or the artist or whatever it is that is your dream, instead of looking for that end point, you're going to start finding ways that you can bring these specific emotions forward in your life. Decouple them from the dream. Let the dream be out there. That spirit's got that on the list. Your job is to identify the emotions and then figure out ways, large and small and even minuscule, that you can bring those emotions into your life. Okay, I really want more joy. How do I bring more joy in my life? What is one thing I can do today? One thing I can do today to bring myself joy. Break it down. One thing. Well, maybe it would make me joyful to watch a funny movie. Maybe it'd make me joyful to listen to some good music. Maybe it'd make me joyful to cook a dinner for myself. Maybe it'd make me joyful to take a hot soak. Maybe it'd make me joyful to take a walk. Maybe it'd make me joyful to reach out to a friend or a loved one. What would make you joyful? One thing every day. Every day. pick one of those emotions off of that list and just strive to hit one of those a day. And you're going to be raising your vibration. And when you raise your vibration, you're closer to your spirit guide's vibration. Your spirit guides love you unconditionally. Unconditionally. Don't shower for 10 days. They love you. You know, do something that you think is terrible. They love you. Ruin your life. You think they love you. They don't care. They literally don't care. All of these things that happen to us are lessons, are things we learn from. They're not bad. They're things that shape us, contour us, change us. And if we can love ourselves through it, then we actually benefit from those things. It's when we turn inward and sour and sad and angry and protective that we didn't learn that lesson. Then another lesson comes along until we can take the lesson and still love ourselves, still have compassion for ourselves. So that's what this will do, creating heaven on earth in this way in your daily life will make your heaven, your real heaven, kick ass, basically. Because you're going to go up there and you're going to be like, I love this. I love this. You know, in my life, I didn't get to be the concert pianist. I got to do, I got to do it in a different way. I got to play at my church, or I got to play with a band. I played with a band at the age of 50 or 70 or 20. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But I got to do it. I experienced that exhilaration. Maybe it was only 10 people in the audience. Maybe there's 100 people in the audience. It's still the same exhilaration. When we take away the judgment and we just say, did I feel joyful? Yep. Then that's it. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if it was joyful because 1,000,000 people were doing it or joyful if 10 people were doing it. The emotion was joy, right? I hope this was helpful for you. This has been a series that I do every Wednesday called Waaay Out Wednesdays. I'll leave the link here and you can click that. There's over 50 videos where I talk about all kinds of metaphysical, supernatural, mystical, psychic, medium things you can only imagine. All these videos are free for the watching. You can just click on the playlist and go through and just see what appeals to you, right? If you like this type of content, please consider subscribing. If you hit the notification bell, well, then you'll know when I have a video. And leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about heaven. Let me know what your version of heaven might be. I'm interested to know. I think it's fascinating how we're all different. And I love that. I love that about the work that I do. Take really, really good care of yourselves. I'll talk to you real soon. Susan Lynn, Psychic Medium, signing out.